All right, ladies, we're going to start now. All right, so for today's class, we're already through looking at the causes of the First World War. So we look at the causes last week, and this week, Mrs. Brown Chambers said that she would have also continued to look at the involvement of the United States in the First World War. So we are now through with the causes of the First World War. But before that, I have an announcement to make is on this Tuesday, you will have a virtual tour of the JDF Museum. I think it's a JDF Museum, something to that effect. So this Tuesday after school. So remember that you must come on after school for your virtual tour. All right, you are living in interesting times now, and it is so good that you can stay home and you can go through the JDF museum uh, in your living room or in your bedroom. So please ensure that you are there for that virtual field trip.
Excuse me, sir.
Go ahead
Do
for
we
me.
all have to go?
Yes, it's a must because it's part of the requirement. Why you don't want to go? Is that Weber?
Because yes, it's Weber, sir, and it's in or after school time. So like school is over.
Yeah, but school is over, but sometimes you have to make a concession for some activities after school. School really finish at 3:30. You know that, right?
No, sir, school ends at 2, and you choose to
No,
go to a club if
no,
you
we
want.
allow you. School really ends at well, the school day ends at 3:30. And so from 2:30 to 3:30 is what we use for extra curriculum activity. So classes end at that time.
Okay, sir. And my other question is, sir, when are we going to stop learning and start revising for exams?
Why you want to look how far we before exam.
Sir,
Where's
if you look at it that way, it's not that far because you have to prepare for a lot of subjects, and most of the subjects have a lot of topics. So it's kind of hard to like start studying like 2 weeks or so before. So we want to start from now so we can like get ahead of the program, you know?
yeah, I understand and I completely agree. However, you have I believe exam is going to start on the 14th of no, that's not when the 21st of June, right?
Sir, they
Exam.
told us the 14th.
Oh, they changed the date to the 14th. Well, I think no, it can't be the 14th because I think this week and this week. All right. So the 14th of June is the exam. So if say for instance it's the 14th of June, then you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 weeks before the exam. So we can't start to revise now. So what we're going to do is that we're going to have our revision maybe the 27th. Well, we can start to have our revision on the 27th of May, the end of May. So you have 2 weeks in June to revise.
Sir, so are we going to start getting assignments?
Yes, yes.
No, like from now, sir, like while we're like going up to exam time, are we going to stop getting assignments so we can start like studying on our own different from as in class time?
Well, it all depends on what the teacher have to say. about it. I can't speak for every subject. I can't speak for every subject, but for our subject, I will lobby on your behalf.
Thank you, sir.
No problem. Any other query, ladies? Everyone is fine? All right. All right, ladies. So we're going to start today to look at the effects of the First World War. Why am I saying the second? And the first effect we're going to look at social changes. So Europe is going to change significantly. So let us look at this. Somebody, could you read the first three countries? These are the countries they are involved in the war. Let us look at those. So we see that people are killed, people are wounded, right, in the war. So go ahead for me. May I have a volunteer?
Australia, Austria-Hungary, Canada.
Mm-hmm.
Read all of them?
All right, you can read all the countries that were involved. Yes, you can go ahead.
French Empire, Germany, Great Britain, India, Italy, Japan, New Zealand, Russia, Serbia, Turkey, and USA.
Very good, very good. Now, let us look at, so if you have a war that is taking place, obviously there are two things that are going to happen. And one thing that is very, very sure, if people are fighting and they're fighting violently, not play fight, like some serious killing and shooting in the trenches. They've never used bombs really in the First World War or used planes to bomb places. That was what happened in the Second World War. But in the First World War, it was really in the trenches, on the battle, on the field, where it was really like contact war. So if you look at the number of persons that actually died or who were actually killed in the war, that was quite significant. Uh, Australia had 59,000. Austria-Hungary had 1.2 million. Canada, 67,000. Somebody else volunteer for me? Read the rest. Those who were killed.
1.7 million.
Mm-hmm. Go
Japan,
ahead.
250. Italy, 460,000. Russia, 1.7 million. USA, 117,000.
Yes. So this is quite a lot of persons who were actually killed during the war. How many people we could estimate here that would have been killed during the war? What overall estimation? Somebody take out a calculator. It's math in history. And then in the meantime, while who is calculating for me those who were killed? Who is doing the calculation? Kira, you're doing it?
No, sir, I was saying it's probably about between 30 million and 20.
13 million and 20. That's your calculation?
No,
Or
sir,
your estimate?
my estimate.
How many persons, ladies, And while you're thinking about, while we're doing the calculation, think about if you have all of these persons who were killed from these countries, what are going to be some of the effects on the individual countries? Think about it.
So if your population went down, your economy would be terrible.
Very good. So let us start here. So one of the effects, social effects, is that your population is going to decline because people are dying. So the population declined. What else he said?
So the economy would suffer.
So direct link to the population could also be your economy. What other effects? If people are dying, look at it. And not only that, not only we have people died, a lot of people died from it, but a lot of people also were wounded. What are some of the wounds you think that they would get from a war like this?
Any kind of gunshot wound?
So gunshot wounds, yes, correct. What else? And remember that they are wounded, meaning that they are still alive. What else?
Lose like some limbs and stuff.
Very good. They're going to lose limbs. Very good. Ladies, you watch movie and you have seen these things in movie where people fight. What are some of the different effects you see when
They
they
could
have these?
lose the ability to walk or or use a part of their body.
Yes, some people are not going to be able to walk. Some people are so you're going to lose their limbs, their hands, their feet.
So trauma.
A lot of trauma. People gonna cry, continuously live in fear. So if we're losing limbs and we're not able to walk, what type of effect that would have on, what type of population is that creating? It starts with D.
So what letter?
What type of population we're seeing? How many people in the population will have this effect? D. D is the clue word, clue letter. D as in dog.
Disabled.
Disabled. Very good. So what we're going to see in the population, we're going to have a lot of disabled people, people with disability. Right? So we have the population decline. A lot of people in the population now is going to have disabilities. And so these are social. And if people are having disabilities, what effect that would have on the population? If people can't walk,
Oh, there
So
would be no work done, and everyone is going to need help to
so
do.
you're going to need help. Very good. So what we call those, you're going to need caregivers. Caregivers to take care of the persons who became disabled as a result of the war. Now let us look at the numbers of persons who were actually wounded. In Australia, 153,000. Somebody continue for me, please.
3,620,000 in Austria-Hungary.
Those from Canada?
Canada 231,000.
Mm-hmm.
French and
Next.
Nigeria 5
4 mil.
5,651,000.
Yes,
The total.
Germany.
5,952,000.
Great Britain.
2,367,000.
Oh, you're giving me the total of those who killed and wounded.
Oh, sorry, sir.
1.6 million.
Yes, sir. India 65,000.
Mm-hmm.
Italy 947,000. Japan
Mm-hmm.
1,000. New Zealand 55,000. Russia 4.9 million. Siberia 13,300. No,
133,000.
Turkey 400,000. USA 204,000.
Thank you very much, Kara. Thank you very, very much. And so if we are seeing this is a lot of wounded people, a lot of people who are going to form part of the disabled. They were not born as disabled, but the war would have created a lot of people with disabilities. And so they are going to need caregivers. And most of the persons who are wounded here are from which gender? What gender is it?
Male?
They are
Masculine.
going to be male. So most of the persons who are wounded are males, the males in the population. And if males are wounded, once they return home,
Wife gonna have to work.
all right, very good. So as a result of this, a lot of the females, they will have to enter the workforce, right?
Yes, sir.
So are we seeing some of the social effects of the war? What the war would cause. So we see that a lot of people died. So casualties is one of it. The population is going to decline because if people died from the war, the population is going to decline, especially in some countries like Austria-Hungary. They would have lost almost 1.2 million people. Germany, 1.7 million. Russia, 1.7 million. These countries would have lost a significant amount of people. And even Britain, 703,000 is a lot.
Sir, the percentage over there is like how much of their country they lost?
1 second, let us check. Give me a second, please. Yes, it is their population. It would link to their population. Those who were affected, either they were killed or they were wounded. So Australia would be 64%, Austria-Hungary 74% of it, 55% would be, it can't be 55 because Russia's population would have been way more than this. Because Russia is a very big country, very, very big country. The table didn't specify how they calculated this percentage. So let us ignore this portion. No calculation, and there's no footnote to say that how the percentage was calculated. I took it from a textbook, but the textbook didn't say anything in regards to the percentage. All right.
Yes.
All right. So we are seeing here, ladies, where they have a lot of negative social effects, and in fact, it is going to give females some sense of entitlement because prior to the World War, females were really not allowed to work in certain areas, in some jobs. They were mostly supposed to remain home. That's how they used to view females, that the females are supposed to remain home. And so if females are now working and they're the ones who are taking care of the families, because either they have a husband that died or they have a husband that is disabled, right? They are going to take lead role in the families. And so what you're going to have here is that one effect of the First World War is not only that you're entering the workforce, but you're going to have a lot increased equality for females. So it is going to help with gender equality. Because you know the worst already. Some places in the world, some countries in the world, they don't value females. They just see that females should be at home, taking care of the family. And you have some males don't like to see females advance in some career. And now as a result of the First World War, I'm sticking with second, but the First World War, a lot of the females are now going to take on key roles in the factories, jobs that people think that the females should not do, or you're just not supposed to see them there. You're going to take on a lot of new responsibilities. And so what we're seeing here are some of the social effects of the Second World War. So we look at the social effects. Look at this map here. So I'm going to ask you to look at the map and let me know, compare map A from map B. So 2 minutes. Look at it, and I want to hear from your perspective when you're through. Don't you have something to say?
Sir, I was going to see what I could observe from the map.
No, say it, man.
Okay, sir. Sir, the countries are now split up into more smaller countries.
Yes, yes, that is true. So that is one effect. Any other effect?
Sir, are there some landforms that weren't there before? Like in that orange one down at the second map, sir. Is a line there?
This one?
Yes, sir.
No, this is one country.
Sir, where?
No, sir. I mean, there the line that little thing that like a split.
This one?
Yes, sir. It's not on the first map.
It's not on the first map. No. Oh, so this orange country is not. Yugoslavia is not on the first map.
Sir, where Poland and oh, sir, I can't see it, but it's joined between Russia and Austria. Like,
So look at all of this area. This is Russia. So all of this area is Russia. Germany, the German Empire, you have Austria-Hungary, Serbia, Romania, Bulgaria, Albania. So these are the countries before the World War. Italy, right? Now let us look. This is the Austria-Hungary kingdom. So this is how Austria-Hungary looked before the First World War. After the war, what happened to Austria-Hungary? Look at all of this geographic space. What happened?
So it was split up so into smaller countries, like
So
into
it was divided into smaller territories. Very good. So for example, Austria is separated from Hungary. So you have Austria-Hungary and you have Czechoslovakia, which is another country that is here. So Austria-Hungary is divided into three. Now all of this area, Albania, part of Austria-Hungary and Serbia, is going to form a new country right here, right up to this point here. They're going to form a new country that is called Yugoslavia, because a lot of the Serbs live in this area. Romania, their landmass is going to increase. So if you look at Romania before, Romania now, they are going to increase significantly. Romania is going to get a portion of Russia. If you look, there was no country by the name of Poland, right? No Poland, right here, no Latvia, and all of these, East Persia. So on the first map, these countries didn't exist. Now those countries are going to be part, so they're going to take lands from Russia and Germany to start countries like Poland and all of these little Eastern European countries. Any comments, ladies?
Sir, and Italy got bigger too.
Italy, but Italy changed. Italy look like they get little more land. This from here. Italy receive a few, just this little portion here. They receive some additional lands. All right, so let us look at it. So one of the first thing that is going to happen, ladies, is that the map is going to change. You're going to have territorial losses. So everybody going to lose territory, territories, right? So if we look at these countries that lost territories include Russia, they're going to lose some part of their territory. Germany going to lose part of their territory. Austria-Hungary is going to be significantly divided. Significantly divided, Austria-Hungary. Significantly, right? So, and then also, ladies, you're going to have new territories that are going to form. So two territorial changes taking place as a result of the war. One, countries, they're going to lose lands. So some territory is going to lose land. For example, Russia, they're going to lose quite a lot of land. Germany, going to lose land. So Germany, Austria-Hungary, and Russia, those three places going to lose land. So the first territorial effect is that you're going to have countries that they lost lands. Then the next one, territorial change that is going to take place, is that Austria-Hungary is going to be divided. It's going to be divided. It's going to be a small and weak kingdom. Small and weak. Countries that are going to gain land as a result of it. So you're going to have other countries that are going to gain land. Italy also gained land and also France. They reclaimed Alsace-Lorraine. Ladies, you're writing correct?
Yes, sir.
Good.
Yes,
So
sir.
they are going to gain, because remember, originally they had Alsace-Lorraine, and now they are going to regain Alsace-Lorraine, France. All right. So we look at some of the social changes and we look at the territorial changes. Now, the question I want to ask you before we go into the other changes is, who do you feel, where it is? Here. So after learning about the First World War, would you say that the war was completely Germany's fault? What do you
Kinda.
feel?
Most of it was there.
Most
Kind
of
of, yeah, most of it. It was.
They were troublesome.
yes. Who? So, in fact, some people felt that, some people actually felt, or some countries, especially Britain, the United States, France, right? So we call these the Big Four. The group of leaders known as the Big Four dominate the talks because after war, you need peace and you have to sign peace treaties. So the US, France, Great Britain, Italy, Germany was not at the meeting. Not at the meeting. So how is it that you're having a peace discussion and Germany is not there? Question.
Because they know like Germany won't agree to certain things. They want war and violence and stuff. Don't want to end things. They would just want to win and take over instead of get peace.
But if, for example, Kara, if both of us we're in, say for instance, you're Germany and I am Britain. Both of us were at school and we're in a war together, right? And the principal decides that she needs to speak to both of us to bring peace. Would it be fair if the principal just bring you alone to a meeting to discuss peace with me?
No.
No,
It would
sir.
not be fair. It would not be fair because you can't hear one side of the story. So if Germany, Russia, Austria-Hungary, Italy, Britain, France, they were all part of the war, the United States. And remember that they were divided. They had their different alliances. It is not fair for just four groups, four countries to come together and decide that we're going to have a peace deal. How that sound? How would you characterize that or describe it?
Or they shouldn't have left. Germany are out so they could hear their side of why they
Yes.
did the things they did.
Mhm. Yes, you're supposed to invite. So the question we need to ask is that why they did not invite Germany? And if you don't invite me as part of it, because President Wilson is going to come up with a 14, the US president is going to come in with a 14 points plan. So he's going to present this speech to the US Congress, and he's going to say that he's creating a solution, 14 solutions to create peace in Europe and to end all the secret alliances. Because remember that they were divided, and all of the different militarism, all of them have their different military, and to propose the development of a League of Nations. So that was his 14-point plan. Look how far the United States is at the time. They were far away. And they came up with a plan that they call the 14 points plan, how to bring peace to Europe. But you are bringing peace to Europe, but you did not invite the territories that you have war with. Germany is one, Austria-Hungary, although it was a divided kingdom, they didn't invite them to the peace talk. And please note that, because that is going to be a cause for the Second World War. So what we are seeing here is that they didn't invite some of the countries to the plan. And so they are going to sign a treaty, which is the Treaty of Versailles. So Britain, France opposed Wilson's idea, and Britain and France, they wanted to punish Germany. They were adamant that they are going to punish Germany. Germany must face the blunt of it, because according to Britain and France, it is Germany's fault why they had a Second World War. Nobody else should be blamed for the war, the First World War. Britain and France said it is Germany's fault. Germany caused the war. Germany caused all of these lives to be lost here. Germany caused all the persons to be wounded. Germany caused the population to decline. Germany caused the disability. Germany caused the economy to decline. It is Germany's fault. It is Germany why people have to be paying people to take care of their husbands. A lot of people, they lost their fathers and their uncles, their sons. It is Germany's fault, and they should pay for it. That was the Britain and France stance on it. Germany should pay. And so one of the things that they're going to do is that they're going to force Germany to sign the Treaty of Versailles. And this treaty is going to punish Germany for the war. This treaty is also going to establish a League of Nations where all countries are going to meet together to discuss any problem that they have. Note the Treaty of Versailles. But let us look at some of the punishments that Germany is going to get. Somebody read these two for me, please. Come, ladies.
Germany signed Germany signed a war guilt clause that placed 100% of the blame on them. Germany had to pay $33 billion in war preparations and lost much of their territory.
Good. So Germany was basically forced to sign the treaty, and they were blamed that they took full responsibility, and they had to pay France and Britain and all the other countries that suffered some form of negative either economic decline, $33 billion. And not only that, Germany would have lost some of her territory, and they took some of Germany's territory to form a new country called Poland. How you feel the Germans going to react?
So they took a lot away from them, like a lot.
So if you were in the, thank you very much, Kira. If you were in the position of Germany, right? You think it is fair to say that the entire war was caused because of Germany?
No, because like everybody contributed to the war. I mean, some of them could pay back for what? Pay back for their properties and stuff, but they didn't have to take that much from Germany because everyone was contributed to the war.
Yes,
And
sir.
then if, go ahead for me, Dunkley.
I was saying, sir, it doesn't take one person alone to start a war.
Yeah.
Everybody is
So you are through, Dunkley?
yes, sir. That's what I was saying.
All right, good, good. So, and you're correct, you're correct. And not only that, if a country is forced to pay $33 billion, who is going to pay that?
So I don't know, because they don't have that much of their population left back to even work and give money and like even put a little bit of taxes so they can pay back for something. But the best option they had was to give away their land, which probably costs a lot.
Lord. Go ahead for me, Prendergast.
So, sir, I'm just saying, do you think that was a little bit unfair or kind of inconsiderate for them to let them pay that much money, knowing that they probably didn't have that much money to find, especially since so many people had died and their economy was kind of struggling?
I don't think it was fair, but guess what? This is the problem. It is the poor people in Germany who's going to have to pay all of that money in taxes. So people are going to get poorer and poorer because they have to be paying taxes instead of using the tax to fix up their country. They have to use those taxes to pay France and Britain reparation.
Sure, I kind of feel like they team up like on Germany. Like they didn't want to pay for it themselves, so they wanted to just point the finger at one country so they could pay for it.
That is true. And not even Austria-Hungary, they had to pay any form of reparation. Because remember the war, the major thing that happened was when the Serb killed the Duke. That happened in Austria-Hungary down in the Balkan area. But they blame Germany. Not saying Germany should not be blamed, but I think the restriction was a little harsh. Let us look at some other restrictions that Germany had to go through. Somebody read these points for me.
Military restrictions. Limits set on the size of the German army. Germany prohibited from importing or manufacturing weapons or war material. Germany forbidden to build or buy submarines or have an air force. Rhineland was established as a militarized zone.
Militarized
Yeah.
zone. Thank you very, very much. So why do you believe that part of the treaty that was signed, or Germany was forced to sign? One, they had to reduce the size of their army. They could not import weapons or any war material. They could not build submarines. They could not have an air force. And they had to have a land, the Rhineland, that had no form of military. Why do you think that was the case?
Sure, it looked like if someone were to attack Germany at any time that they would like lose.
Lose.
Yeah.
And also it was to ensure Britain and France and the US wanted that at any time again in the history that Germany should never have the power to fight back. It was a form of control. So Germany and France with the US, they wanted control over Germany and they got that control. They received that control. And ladies, Mrs. Brown Chambers will continue with you. But one thing that I can say for sure is that all of these problems, put yourself in Germany's position. Put yourself in Germany's position, and Germany's position, whatever you think it's going to be, Germany is going to retaliate. And that is going to start another war, which is the Second World War. Go ahead for me, Prendergast and Dunkley.
Sir, I was going to ask, how comes Germany don't say anything about it? They just accept the blame and sign the treaty, the thing.
Right now, we know because of Germany, because of how they got a lot of lash in the war. Beaten left, right, and center. They're basically weak, very, very weak. But deep down in their hearts, they never agreed to it. They didn't agree. Didn't agree to it. But ladies, I'm not being sympathetic towards Germany because what Germany is going to do some people in the Second World War, especially Hitler, with their new leader. But I can understand the reason why they are going to move to that level. All right, ladies, thank you very much for your participation. All right, Dunkley, Kira, Prendergast, thank you very, very much for your participation in class today. And so we're going to meet again next Friday. All right?
Okay, sir.
Okay, sir.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Enjoy
Bye.
the
Have a good
weekend.
weekend.